Here we are, at our commercial ventilation chapter. I will present you our duo, Achillios and Daniele, to tell you all about the need for good ventilation inside buildings and to show you our commercial ventilation solutions.
Thank you very much, Vitor, and welcome everyone. Today, we will introduce you to the available solutions from the Daikin commercial ventilation portfolio. But before we do this, it's important to explain why ventilation is important in order to achieve an excellent level of indoor air quality. Isn't it, Achillios?
Hello everyone, indeed Daniele. This is the very important thing to do starting today's presentation. It's all about explaining why ventilation helps to achieve and safeguard a good level of indoor air quality. As we saw earlier in the introduction of Vitor, the air inside buildings is containing a big variety and a big quantity of different pollutants, which can be both health and comfort threatening. And that's the reason that we need to find solutions in order to take care of them. As we saw in the introduction from Vitor earlier, the air inside the buildings contains a big variety and a big quantity of different pollutants, from solid particles like dust, pollen, and ultrafine particles, up to microorganisms like bacteria and viruses, but also the CO2 which we emit as human creatures and other living creatures while we breathe. All these pollutants have a threatening role for our health and our comfort. And we understand very easily that it is very important to take care and remove them from our indoor air in order to improve the air quality. It is without any question that in order to do so, the best solution, or one of the best solutions, is to use a mechanical ventilation system. This is for two reasons. The first one is that the ventilation system performs a simultaneous act of bringing the required fresh air inside the building and at the same time extracting the foul air from the building. So in a double act, in a simultaneous action, the ventilation system dilutes the concentration of pollutants inside the building. But while it is important to use ventilation to improve indoor air quality, it is also of paramount importance to secure the good energy efficiency of the building. And in order to do so, a ventilation system needs to be equipped with an air-to-air heat exchanger, which allows for the energy exchange between the two airflows, the outgoing and the incoming, in such a way that the fresh air that gets inside the building comes with favorable temperature conditions in order to not have an impact to the energy condition of the building. So while a ventilation system is important for the improvement of indoor air quality because it dilutes the concentration of pollutants inside the building, the other way it helps to improve indoor air quality is the following. The outer air includes pollutants like the indoor air, and in this sense, we need to keep these pollutants out of the building. In order to do so, we are using filters and other air treatment solutions which are positioned strategically before and after the unit in order to achieve this result. And not only this, we need also to protect the ventilation unit, the ventilation system, from getting dirty from the pollutants. So, in a nutshell, and as a conclusion, the ventilation system, on one hand, dilutes the pollutants and reduces their concentration inside the building, and at the same time, it keeps any kind of outdoor pollutant out of the building. And it is easy to understand that the more air changes we perform in a building and the higher the filtration system which we are using, the less pollutants we have indoors and the better the indoor air quality. That's why ventilation is useful. Let's now see what are the available solutions for commercial ventilation applications. In order to approach this, we could use the categorization of applications according to the size of the building which is being served, and consequently according to the airflow which is needed in order to ventilate such a building and such an installation. So, on one hand, we have the decentralized ventilation systems, where with a unit of a relatively low airflow, we can serve the totality of a small installation like a retail store or like a cafe, or just a zone of a bigger building like an office building or a hotel. In a similar sense, we have the decentralized ventilation applications, where with one or some units, we can cover the entirety of a big building. And now let's see how this logic applies to the Daikin product portfolio. And let's start from the general overview of the Daikin commercial ventilation portfolio of products. We see that this consists of 7 ranges, which correspond to nominal airflows as small as 150 cubic meters per hour, up to as big as 144,000 cubic meters per hour. And maybe someone will notice that there is some overlap between some of the ranges in terms of airflow, but take care, each one of them has specific abilities which is allowing them to apply for different applications. We will come to this a bit later. What you need to keep now in your mind and what we need to highlight is that all the products which are included in the Daikin product portfolio are compliant with the current legislation which is available in Europe, and they are continuously and constantly updated according to this. At the same time, certain ranges are certified according to different programs and standards. Now, let's see how the Daikin ventilation ranges are allocated to decentralized and centralized. On one hand, we have the ranges which correspond to smaller airflows like the Modular L, the Modular T, the VAM, the VKEM, which are decentralized ventilation solutions, while the bigger ones, like the Modular P, R, and the Professional, which correspond to higher airflows, are meant for centralized ventilation applications. Let's have now a closer look to the decentralized ventilation solutions.
Fresh air is another element that defines comfort. Our heat reclaim ventilation, or HRV units, ensure the necessary fresh air ventilation. The HRV unit brings in fresh air in the most efficient way, thanks to the heat recovery of outgoing heat from outgoing air through the high-efficiency paper. When outdoor temperature is lower than the indoor temperature, free cooling is possible. HRV also prevents overventilation and energy loss while maintaining indoor air quality with an optional CO2 sensor.
In this video, we saw a typical example of a decentralized commercial ventilation application, which we can find in a light commercial application like a retail store. More specifically, we saw the use of a unit coming from the VAM range of products, which is a range consisting of made-to-stock units of 9 sizes, corresponding to nominal airflow of 150 cubic meters to up to 2,000 cubic meters per hour. It is equipped with a CO2 sensor. It has the ability for a bypass, and then there is also a real-time filter monitoring capability. Next to it, it has the possibility for a double-stage filtration, which can be as high as EPM 170, which, by the way, it's very close to the recommendation of the REVA Association in relation to the current pandemic situation. And then the applications for which it's meant for are office buildings and light commercial applications like retail stores. If we would like to highlight some of the unique selling points of this unit, is the special heat exchanger, which allows for enthalpic and sensible heat exchange, and also Then next to it, the easiness of installation, given the different positions it can take during installation. We will see this a bit later. And then the automated ESP selection, which allows for the unit to adapt to an existing installation and adapt the operation of the fans according to the requirements for static pressure. And finally, the slim design. This range presents one of the slimmest designs in the market. Then the energy saving options which come with the VAM range are the CO2 sensor, which triggers the operation, the active operation of the unit in order to improve the CO2 concentration in the building, and then the possibility for free cooling, allowing, depending on the ambient and indoor temperature conditions, to free cool or free heat the building without the need of an air conditioning system. And now, with the help of augmented reality technology, let's have a closer look to our VAM unit, which we have here in the room.
The use of a ventilation unit like VAM in the heat exchange mode allows for the supply of fresh air into the building at conditions with less impact to the energy situation of the building. In this specific example, which shows the operation in winter conditions, the cold ambient air comes into the VAM unit and then has energy exchange with the outgoing room return air. Thus, fresh air is entering into the building at higher temperature conditions. There are cases, though, where there is a need to bring the fresh air into the building at specific conditions. This in order to avoid discomfort and have the least impact to the operation of the air conditioning system. For these cases, the use of EK-VDX-A is ideal. It is a DX coil module which is connectable to VAM via a field supply duct. This solution can either warm up or cool down the fresh air coming out of the VAM unit to a specific temperature, for airflows of 500 to 2,000 cubic meters per hour. This new solution offers great flexibility in installation, given that the VAM unit can be positioned in different ways: horizontally, upside down, and vertically, and different distances from EK-VDX.
Another product which is included in our commercial ventilation portfolio is the VKM GBM. It's also a made-to-stock standardized solution consisting of 3 sizes corresponding to airflow from 500 to 1,000 cubic meters per hour. It is a compact solution which in one casing contains the ventilation solution similar to what we saw in VAM with a similar heat exchanger, a DX coil for heating and cooling, post-heating and cooling, but also a humidification device which allows to control the humidity of the fresh air which is supplied to the building. Like the VAM, the VKM GBM is also meant for light commercial applications, office buildings, bank branches. Some unique selling points of this solution is that it is a compact solution. It contains 3 actions. First of all, bringing fresh air, controlling the temperature of the fresh air, and also the humidity. It's a complete and compact solution which is easily integrated into a VRV system. A unique selling point that we would like to highlight, and it refers to all the products that we saw so far, is that on one hand, they can be used as standalone, connected with a local remote controller, but also they can be integrated under a centralized Daikin controller like the ITM, the iTab, or the Daikin Cloud Service. This allows the possibility to have a small local business management system, or even go a step further, integrate this to a more generalized building management system. And this also applies to another product, the Modular L, which also have the same control capabilities as the products which we referred to earlier. But for this product, the Modular L Smart, we will get more information coming next.
The Modular L is a range of low-height high efficiency heat recovery units with counterflow plated exchanger for false ceiling application. It's a standardized solution that comes in 6 sizes, all of them available with right and left handing. And the airflow range goes from 150 up to 3,400 cubic meter per hour. It's also worth mentioning that the Modular L is VDI 6022 hygiene certified. Highest filtration grade that we can achieve is EPM 180%, and we can have up to 2 filter stages on both supply and return air side. From a controls point of view, we have 2 control platforms available. The first one, we call it the Pro Control, which is the Daikin open platform with advanced control functionalities, while the other one, it's called the Smart Control solution that allows direct connectivity to the Daikin communication platform. From application point of view, typical ones are offices, light commercial, and schools. But let's have a look at this video that will explain better than any word how the Modular L is built and works. So let's have a look at the highlights of the Modular L range. First of all, the compact dimensions that go from 280 millimeter up to 500 millimeter. We can have a 2-stage filtration on both supply and return air. We have 2 plug-and-play control solutions, as we have seen, the Smart and the Pro controls. And then the VDI 6022 hygienic certification is available. The next project I would like to speak about today is the Modular T. The Modular T is another solution for decentralized ventilation with counterflow plated exchanger, but this time with a vertical layout. It's again a standardized solution I make to stock, just like the Modular L, and it comes in 5 sizes, all of them with right and left handing. Thanks to its reduced width and low footprint, it's the ideal solution for new and existing buildings. Airflow range goes from 150 up to 4,100 cubic meter per hour. Highest filtration grade is again EPM 180%. And just like the Modular L, we have 2 control platforms available, again the Pro and the Smart controls. Typical application, offices, light commercial, restaurant, and school. But let's have a closer look at the components of the Modular T. We have the control unit for controls and power. We have the double fresh air filtration stage, the return air filter stage, and a 3rd optional supply filter stage, which means that with the Modular T we can have up to 3 filtration stages on the supply air side for an excellent, outstanding and superior supply air quality. And then of course we can see the counterflow plated exchanger with bypass damper and the optional recirculation damper, and a main cooling and heating coil for water or DX application. So the highlights of the Modular T can be summarized that the compact dimensions with width that can go from 550 millimeters up to 890 millimeter, the 3-stage filtration on supply air, plug-and-play control system, again Smart and Pro controls, compatibility with the X system, VRV and ERQ Daikin condensing unit, and then we have a wide choice of options and accessories. But let's now switch to the other ventilation application, the centralized ventilation system, where the products are the modular RMP range and the professional range. But follow me to the other room now. So here we are to have a closer look at the modular RMP series, which is the range of Daikin compact air handlers that come in 10 standard sizes. In particular, the modular R comes with a rotary heat wheel, while the modular P with a counterflow plate heat exchanger. Airflow range goes from 500 up to 25,000 cubic meters per hour. From a filtration point of view, we can reach the very high level of semi-absolute filter EPM1 95%. We have the plug-and-play control solution by default that offers cost benefits, but also a very quick and easy startup of the units. Typical applications are comfort heating and cooling, warehouses, offices, and hotel, for example. Thanks to the high filtration level, to the liquid gasket technology, to the high quality material, to the flush inner surfaces, and to the internal rounded profile, we can reach a very good level of indoor air quality, as well as an excellent level of cleanliness of our unit. So let's have a closer look at the components inside the unit. If I open this door, we can have a look at the AC fan, pressure sensor, damper and damper actuator. While if I close and open the other door, we can see the fresh air filter stage and have a closer look at the recovery heat wheel. So to summarize, the key feature of the modular RMP range, it's a standardized solution, so selection is quick and easy. We can reach EPM1 95% filtration grade. We have the plug-and-play control system that is compatible with VRV and ERQ condensing unit, and we have an extended range of components and accessories to choose from. Last but not least, we will look at the professional air handling unit series. The professional handlers are fully tailored to our customer needs, thanks to the high flexibility in terms of dimensions and a wide choice of components and options. Airflow range goes from 500 cubic meters per hour up to 144,000 cubic meters per hour. We also have the possibility to provide the DENV 1946 hygienic certification. In terms of filtration capabilities, we basically have no limits with the maximum filter efficiency that goes up to H14. We have the plug-and-play control solution that it's called the digital control solution for the professional series. Thanks to the high flexibility and wide range of configuration and options, the professional series can adapt to any application, even the most demanding one, like pharmaceutical, oil and gas, data center, and hospital. So to summarize the key feature of the professional series, we can say that strong points are the tailor-made solution, the infinite variable sizes, the wide range of components and configuration available, the plug-and-play control system, and the optional DENV 1946 hygienic certification. But let's have now a nice overview of some actual application in real life that will give us the idea of the flexibility in terms of configuration and dimension of the professional handling units. For example, here we have a nice outdoor industrial application, an indoor application that will perfectly fit inside the technical room, or an outdoor installation in side-by-side configuration for our hotel room. As today's topic is the indoor air quality, we couldn't not talk about the Daikin DX Fresh Air Package. In fact, thanks to the compatibility of Daikin air handling units with the Daikin VRV and ERQ condensing unit, we are able to provide a complete factory mounted solution. Daikin IAQ and VRV units respond rapidly to the fluctuation in supplier temperature, resulting in a steady temperature and a high comfort level. The electronic expansion valve and control box can be delivered factory fitted inside the air handling unit for a real plug-and-play solution. So we've had a look at the full commercial Daikin ventilation portfolio, but everything wouldn't be as effective if we didn't have the right selection tools. So let's have a look at them.
It's important to have a complete portfolio of ventilation products, but it is as important to be able to select them correctly and accurately. To this direction, and in order to ease the daily life of users, Daikin unified the selection software tools of our commercial portfolio under a unifying landing page. There the user gets an overview of the specs for each range and can choose for which to initiate a selection. For VAM with EKVDX and VKM, the user will be led to Ventilation Web Express. After the input of the specifications of a certain project, the user receives a series of output, such as psychometric results, drawings, and detailed reports. Next to this, Ventilation Web Express has been integrated to VRV Web Express. Once there is a need for a ventilation product, such as VAM, VKM, and EKVDX, the user will be automatically transferred to Ventilation Web Express, where, after performing the selection, she or he can submit the results to VRV Web Express and continue with the rest of the VRV project. The same will soon be implemented for Astra, the selection software of the modular and professional ventilation product ranges. Access to Astra is given from the landing page. If, for example, a Modular L is to be selected, the user will input the specifications and will be led to a three-dimensional depiction of the unit, be able to select the optimal equipment, and see the energy class. A full report can be available in several languages, with all the technical details of the selected unit. A complete ventilation product portfolio requires the correct selection tools.
Next to the selection software tools which we just saw, there is also a variety of additional information and supportive material which you can use in order to go deeper into our portfolio. There is a variety of commercial and technical literature. Next to it, there are ventilation and indoor air quality trainings with more technical details and information, and then there are case studies which give a proof about the necessity of using ventilation in order to improve indoor air quality. And finally, on our website, you can find the Daikin white paper on indoor air quality. And I think it's time now, with the help of Daniele, to wrap up for today and go through the highlights of today's presentation and for you to keep the best points and the most important points of today's discussion. So first of all, we will agree that indoor air quality is important and ventilation is the best way to safeguard it.
The Daikin portfolio is complete in solutions covering every type of ventilation and size of ventilation application.
And then all the products which are included in our portfolio are interconnected and interacting with all the different components of an HVAC installation, either comfort air conditioning or other components, offering a seamless control between them.
We have a wide range of supporting material and selection tool for the entire ventilation portfolio.
And then finally, we will all agree that the Daikin ventilation portfolio is a unique and complete range of products which, in the end, can safeguard good indoor air quality inside buildings.
Absolutely, Achillios. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
That's a great teamwork, guys. If you have any questions about the presentations of Achillios and Daniele, please put them in the comment box below. If you want to know more about our other solutions, please scroll down and click the direct link below. Enjoy the presentations.